Hi, in this tutorial I just want to show you guys how to get started with the Lab 3, the clicker game, right? So this is from Unit 4, the Lab 3 that you're working on this week. In this lab you're creating a little chaser game, and there's some things that you need to add to it, the text, a score, a display for your score, and we're not going to do that. I'm really just going to talk to you about the part where it says hints to make to create an image the size of the screen instead of the background, because this is somewhere where a lot of you would mess up without reading this part closely. So when I go to create this, I'm going to go to create in code.org, and I'm going to go to App Lab. And again, make sure that you rename your project. So I might call mine clicker game, or if you want to call it lab 3, whatever. And the first hint that I had talked about was basically instead of putting a picture on the background, you actually need to put an image that's the size of the background. So I'm going to go through that, because basically what you're going to do is have a background image with another image in front of it, and that another little image is something that you're going to click, and every time you click it, it's going to move around and it's going to give you a score. So if you click it, you get a point. You know, if you click the background or whatever, you lose a point. So when you go to design this, you are going to add an image. And the first image you're going to add is actually going to be like the same size as the background. Okay, so you want to create an image that takes up the entire background area. And so there's my image. You can see that that's covering the whole background. And then go ahead and put your image in it. So I'm going to upload a file for mine. And I'm going to do I'm going to have it click the duck. So I'm going to put the duck on. I've already downloaded my pictures just to be ahead of things. And I'm going to put a water image on there. We're going to choose that. So I'm using a water image. Now, sometimes if your images aren't like a vertical type image, it's not going to cover the background. So what you can do, if you really want, is also make the background of this whole screen the same thing. So if I click on the screen and I also then put the same image as its background, they more or less blend together. But you do want to make sure that your image size pretty much covers your whole screen. The reason for that is when you go to do your coding and you go to do your click events, it will detect a click on the screen every time. And we don't want, so we don't want to use that as our counter, because even if you do click the correct image, it would then it's still going to detect like a minus, a negative. So the key there was that I added an image and I made it the size of the whole screen. Now I'm going to add a second image. And for the second image, now I'm going to add the thing that I want to actually click on. So mine's going to be, we'll just use the little cowboy duck here. Oh, didn't like that file type. So let's try one that's not a JIFIF. Doesn't like those, the new style JPEGs, the JFIF. Okay, so I'll choose that. So basically within this game now, you're going to write code that if I click the duck, I get a point. And if I click this water image, I lose a point. So if you look, I have image 1 is the water, image 2 is the duck. So I would probably rename mine to water, and I would rename this one duck. So now when I go to code it, I would say that if I click duck, I get a point. If I click water, I lose a point. So that's just getting you started on Lab 3. I think you can kind of take it from there, because it just utilizes variables that we have already spent some time covering and practicing in class.